Sure. Well, I think Tom and I connected in two ways. I think Jimmy Green had left the band, and Tom was looking for a new saxophone player. And I wasn't great friends, but I was acquaintances with Ugonna Okegwo, the bass player. He'd worked with Tom a little bit, and I think he recommended me. But also, at that time, I was actually working with trumpeter David Weiss, here and there. He had a group. Not only was he working with Freddie Hubbard, but he also had a composers octet. And while I never actually worked with David Weiss's band specifically, I would rehearse with the bands quite a bit. He would always call me to do the rehearsals and hang out and play his music. And when Tom and his wife Angela were kind of spread the word that they were looking for someone, I think David Weiss told them to check out my music. So I think both the recommendation of Ugonna and David Weiss helped, and Angela Harrell, Tom's wife, emailed me and she asked me to send some music for Tom to listen to, and I did. And then I went over to Tom's place and we ended up rehearsing together, and that was the beginning. Yeah, working with Tom Harrell I think has pretty much been one of the most amazing musical experiences I've had in my career. I mean, there are a few, but working with him definitely takes the cake. And I've been blessed enough to be with him for just about 10 years now. And I'm always learning something new. He continuously writes music. So the band is always learning new music. We're always, he's always challenging our minds. And at this point, I think he knows our strengths, but also he knows how to challenge us. So it never gets old, and it's always a learning experience, and it's always inspiring. Sometimes you might have a bad day, you might be going through a lot, maybe technically or emotionally, and then once you hit the bandstand and really see what Tom has to go through, and just to make such high-level music, it kind of makes all the little problems that you have in your head kind of meager. When you really see the high level that he's performing at on a pretty consistent basis. So it's really been an amazing journey, and I'm lucky to be working with him. Well, I think this afternoon in Tom Harrell's band in general is a good example, and I tend to follow that example with my own group. I mean, with Tom's group, we get together, for example, let's say we're doing a week at the Vanguard. We'll get together a few days before the Vanguard. Like I said before, Tom writes all new music. So we'll get together a few days before, we'll look at the music, kind of learn it, and then it's up to us to take it home, prepare it, and then we show up at the Vanguard, and then even though we've rehearsed, the rehearsing we're not rehearsing what we're playing, we're not rehearsing any sort of, we don't know the set list before we do it. We're just literally learning the music, getting acquainted with what's happening. And then as far as the specifics, that happens on the bandstand. I mean, because it is improvisational music, and he trusts us to interpret the music and to expound upon what he's written. And this afternoon, in particular, the quintet actually hasn't played in several months, because Tom's been touring with some different projects. So we didn't know what we were playing tonight. Like I keep saying, Tom writes so much music, we could be playing anything. We didn't know what we would be playing this afternoon until about an hour before we got here. We got an email. And so we just pretty much got on the stage and didn't talk about anything and just played. And once you've learned the music, just enough so that you're comfortable with the notes on the page and everybody knows the roadmap, I think it's good to just not overdo it. I don't like to over-rehearse, because you want that improvisational spirit on the bandstand. I mean, that's what this is about. And I think when there are bands that are over-rehearsed, you hear that and you feel it, and even your most uneducated listener can tell the difference between something that's over-rehearsed and over-prepared than something that's just free and full of spirit. So. I'm Wayne Escoffery. For more videos, go to jazztimes.com.